First story. UOP call his daughter's boyfriend's son, causing the daughter to yell at the former. The author of the post is listed in the description. I, 53M, have a daughter, 25F, who has been dating James, 28M, for 2 years now. Before meeting him, my daughter strictly told me not to mention his dad or any family members to him. He is not close with them. I didn't ask what happened because it was not my place to know. Genuinely, I liked him a lot. He is a good man, responsible, neat, and truly loves my daughter. We bonded well. I only met him a handful of times. This happened a few days ago. My daughter came to visit me along with James. I was fixing my car. James looked curious and asked what I was doing. I showed my car and said that I am fixing it. We go into talking and he told me he doesn't know how to fix his car. He just pays someone else to do it. I was shocked. I told him I can teach him. He doesn't need to waste his money on fixing basic things. I did teach him all the things. He was a fast learner. After he was done, I patted on his back and said, "Well done, my son." The expression on his face changed. He was happy in 1 second, and then his face changed. He broke down, crying on the floor. I tried my best to calm him down, but he was wailing. By the time my daughter came, he was in a fetal position. I was confused. My daughter took him inside. He spent the night. My daughter just took his dinner in her room. She came downstairs and asked what happened. I gave her the details of it. She was angry. She was almost screaming and asked, "Why the hell did I say, 'Well done, son'?" She specifically told me not to mention anything about his family. I didn't. I just said, "Well done, my son," because that's what you usually say when you are proud of them. I didn't even utter the word father. It just slipped. I said sorry and asked if I could talk to him and apologize. She was pissed and told me to forget it. He is not in good shape. They left early morning. I don't know what I did wrong here. I've been asking my daughter about him and it was just one-word answers. What do I do? Relevant comments. Commenter: he needs therapy. You did nothing wrong. Oop. According to my daughter, he has been in therapy for 5 years, in and out. Commenter: your daughter is enabling his crippling mental illness. She'll learn eventually. Oop. I don't think she is enabling. She cares for him a lot. She is going to nursing school like her mother to become a nurse, so that's why she might be freaking out. Update. Posted 1 day later. I wanted to post an update on my previous post, but the mods removed my post for God knows why. But then again, the update is very long. Yesterday, when I made this post, my daughter called and asked if I can come to her place. I said, of course. When I went inside, the first thing my daughter did was hug me and said she was sorry for yelling and berating me. She was wrong. She should have handled it like a mature adult. I told her it is fine. I understand why she panicked. She also said James wants to meet me as well. James was in their shared bedroom and asked for privacy. As soon as I went there, he started apologizing and said he didn't mean to make things awkward. He knows he shouldn't have cried like that in front of me, that he is a grown man and should have kept his emotions in check. He says he has never had a major breakdown like this in 3 years. Usually he is in control of his emotions. I asked him to calm down, and I am not mad at him. But then he started telling me his story. It just made me sick to my stomach. Here it is. Back when he was in his final year in college, his mother had died the year before. His dad and mom got married too young because his mother was pregnant. They were both in bad shape. But his dad was even worse than before. He would often visit his dad along with his girlfriend. One day he found his girlfriend was cheating on him with his dad. I won't go into much details, but you can imagine the mess. His father gave him lame excuses like he was lonely and whatnot. He cut off all the contacts he had with his dad and went on to live with his grandmother. His grandmother did rip his dad a new one and threatened to call the police on him. After that, he went into depression. He skipped his classes and flunked. He went through intense therapy and has managed well on his own. He moved out from his grandmother's state and came closer to us. That poor boy was sobbing while he was telling me this story, but in excruciating details, it almost made me cry. Also, that's not the reason he cried. He cried because few days ago he received a letter from his grandmother that his dad has committed suicide. He wrote a letter to James. James did read the letter, but he felt nothing. He showed me the letter. It was basically that bastard apologizing and asking for a chance. I got a little gist about what happened after the affair was discovered. His father and that girl was pretty much ostracized by everyone. They lived in a small town, so the word got around. The father's friend basically disowned him. Every relative he had doesn't talk to him. He lost his respect and dignity. He begged his mother to give James's address, but grandmother refused. He couldn't find James because he changed his name. He goes by his maternal grandmother's maiden name. Also, in the letter he mentioned he had liver failure because after he left he drank alcohol. He regrets what he has done and knows he can never take it back. He will always have to carry the guilt. He has thought about suicide a lot of times, but he knows if he dies he has to answer his deceased wife about why he did what he did. Lastly, his dad mentioned he has no contact with that B1 teach because she was the reason why he lost his son. He does acknowledge his own fault, but mostly he blamed that girl because she seduced him. I can't believe even in his death he avoided accountability. James said he wasn't bothered by his death until that day when I called him son. If it was some other time, he wouldn't have reacted the way he did. It was just the timing. He cried because he knew he lost his father forever. He didn't even go to his funeral because he knew if he did, his progress would go down the drain. But he misses having a father. He knows what his dad did was wrong, but they were both pretty close. His dad was his cheerleader. He still couldn't believe his dad would do this to him. He mentioned that if his dad was alive, he probably would have contacted him in the near future, like in 10 or 20 years. But he just both of his parents forever. I apologized to him for triggering something like that. I also told him he is a wonderful man and any man would be proud to have a son like him. It's such a shame his dad threw it all away because he can't control his dick. Sorry, I know this is a dead person, but I have no respect for him. What he did was his and only his fault, and I am proud of him. He has managed very well for himself. He reassured me that even though he has trauma, he never hurt my daughter and really loves her. He said that he has been thinking about asking her hand from me. Now, I would have said yes, but I put some conditions. That he needs to get a psyche evaluation and go to therapy. I know he is a good person, but now he is not in a good headspace. He should take my daughter to couples counseling with him. He accepted them without hesitation. As for my daughter, I did ask her why she kept this huge thing away from me. She said she didn't want me to judge him, that she knows what he went through and it really hurts her to see him being triggered. She did mention she heard him cry in the bathroom when they first moved in. She loved him and understands that he has PTSD, but according to, he is the best guy she has ever dated. I told her I do not care who she dates, be it a truck driver or a billionaire or someone who is an orphan, as long as the guy is good and treats her well, she has my approval. Sorry, that was long, but it is tough to summarize everything in such short words. Second story. I cheated on my husband, and now I suspect he's seeing another woman. I, 30F, cheated on my husband, 27M. He's taking it well, but I feel he resents me. I know I did something awful and disgusting, and when I couldn't take the guilt anymore, I cut off my affair partner and confessed everything to my husband. He got more upset and depressed than angry, and I begged for him to not divorce me. I proposed counseling, therapy, even allowing him to have sex with other women, but he wasn't interested. He said he wanted to try to work us out, and I jumped in being the best wife a man can ask for. I cook his favorite dishes, leave him loving notes, and bought new lingerie to entice him. His reactions are lukewarm at best. He smiles and thanks me, but not once he has said he loves me since I have confessed. He barely initiates anything, and I basically have to push myself on him, not that he complains. Sometimes we talk about this, but I think I still lost the man I love. His behavior with me feels very artificial, and nothing changes his facade. I can be playful, I can be sad, I can get angry, and I can get seductive. His reaction is always this stupid smile and polite words. He was so emotional and sincere before all of this happened. I want him to let out his true emotions with me, even if he hates me. I still love him so much. What can I do to fix this? Comments. Commenter, there's nothing you can do to fix this. You most likely ruined your marriage irreparably. Good job. Leave that man alone. Commenter, you killed the joyful, sincere, emotional man. Do you understand? That man is dead. Gone. I felt it myself. Betrayed by the woman that I thought was my actual soulmate. Yeah, that's how fast it dies. I tried for about a year, but I could never find that man again and couldn't forgive her. He'd be a true saint if he were able. Oop. No, I don't want to believe this. He's still in there somewhere. He knows I cheated. We didn't separate, and I begged him to not divorce and let me fix this. He agreed, but his behavior since my confession has basically been one of indifference. Like I wrote on my last post, I do my best to be the best wife he could ask for. I cook his favorite foods, get him gifts, screw his brains out every night. He just smiles and thanks me. He acts kind and never yells at me, but I feel his icy indifference under that mask of courtesy. 2 weeks ago, he started coming home late, very late, and when he does, he just goes to bed. I asked him what's going on, and he told me in the kindest way possible that it's not my business. I call him when he stays out, and he picked up only once. I heard a woman laughing in the background. I'm starting to think he is cheating back on me. It fucking hurts. If he told me at least I would do my best to stomach it, I deserve this after all. But he won't tell me. He just shuts me out. A common friend told me she spotted him in a car with a woman she didn't recognize, and this felt like a stab in the heart. She said she couldn't describe her exactly because she wore big sunglasses, but she recognized my husband because of his particular taste in neckties. They were talking, but my friend said that from their position it looked like they were holding their hands or one of them was touching the other's lap. I don't know what to do. If he is having an affair, I deserve it, but I need to know. The uncertainty is killing me. Should I confront him? Should I try to find out more? I don't know how much more I can take of this. I wish he would at least communicate with me. Comments. Commenter. Just ask him. You hurt him, and now he's hurting you. I don't believe your marriage is salvageable at this point if he's cheating to get back at you. Oop. He won't talk to me. Commenter. He's disassociating from you, probably seeing someone else. But regardless, it's over. Sounds like you've been reduced to roommate, yes? Oop. Not even a roommate. Someone said I've been reduced to a bang maid. Commenter. Your marriage is over. Move on. And oh no, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Commenter. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. That's why you're scared of him leaving. It's why you want him to give you emotion, even if it's anger and him yelling at you. 'Cause if he hated you, there's still passion there. An emotion that shows he still loves you, just can't process how to get back there. Unfortunately, he doesn't love you anymore. He's checked out. He doesn't get angry 'cause there's nothing to get angry about. He won't cry 'cause there's nothing to cry about. He already went through the processes of grief and is on the other side of it. Unfortunately, with that comes the realization that what he buried during that grieving process was your relationship, and you have realized this. Update. 2 days later. He left me and he was cheating on me. I did like you guys said and begged him to talk to me. He didn't want to, but I cried and yelled so much I puked all over. He got softer with me. He helped me clean up and we talked. I asked him if he was cheating on me and he said he was talking with someone but didn't do anything with her. I asked if she was the woman my friend saw him with. He thought on it a little but said no, it was another woman whom he met a month ago in his office. I asked him how could he and said I gave him permission, and he didn't do anything besides unloading his problems and our situation with her. But he played it like he was having a full affair so I could feel what he felt, especially because according to him, I neglected him and made it obvious I was cheating on him. He said he was suffering, and I was almost rubbing it in his face. I told him I wasn't doing it on purpose, and he said this was even worse because I didn't care at all. He said that everything I did after confessing meant nothing and just made him think I am selfish, self-centered, and lack any sort of self-respect. I asked him if we could work on myself and our marriage, but he said we can have counseling to sort ourselves out. But the marriage is over. He said he wishes no ill on me and decided to cut his charade because he could no longer bear to the woman he once loved suffer like that. But he said I am no longer that woman. I started sobbing again, and he held me, but he kept saying no when I asked him. We worked this out. I asked him what he was going to do, and he's moving out. He already found a new place. I asked him if he was going to live with that woman, and he said he, but she was close enough. I asked him how he could pick a total stranger he met a month ago over his wife of 5 years. He said his wife of 5 years no longer exists. He has to pick between 2 strangers, and that woman made a much better impression on him. I told him he was a fool, and he could not know this woman will probably use and dump him. He got harsh and said she's better than me for sure. He said he won't say to our families our marriage ended because I cheated, but because we grew apart, and that he will leave the house to me as long as I make the divorce smooth. But if I try to take him to the cleaners, drag it out, or cause any problem, he will tell everyone what I did and destroy me and my reputation. This happened yesterday and he has already packed up almost everything. I can't stop crying and I can't believe this is happening. This is horrible and unfair. Comments. Commenter, just remember you created this outcome. Maybe next time don't cheat. Commenter, she wants everyone else to buy sheets for the bed she made. Third story. Fiancé of 8 years chose co-worker of 3 months over me. I, 26F, have been with my partner, 24M, for 8 years since high school. I'm diagnosed autistic, and I suffer from a chronic illness called lupus that in recent years has left me a ghost of my former self. So, I haven't had an easy time coping with any of this as my issues make this trauma all the more compounding. We have gone through countless struggles throughout the years, mental health crises, deaths in both our families, especially mine with the death of my father on April 1st of 2022, and I miss him deeply. But the one thing that truly negatively affected our relationship the most started in 2018 when he began to cheat on me. There were countless times between a classmate of his, countless co-workers, and 3 women he met while on PlayStation. I thought he had changed throughout the last year or so as he was consistent with being open and honest and made me feel secure enough and safe to finally trust him again. He even proposed to me after 8 years at a Ren fair we went to together in October. I loved him so much and was more than willing to do anything to keep him happy, even if it meant sacrificing my own happiness. Because love is selfless, right? And I loved him so much. He was always very insecure about his body, looks, career, etc. I did everything I could to try and help. I've had no online or IRL friends since it made him jealous and would cause him to get upset frequently and accuse me of cheating. I made him my one and only priority and consistently only focused on how he was feeling because I knew what it felt to not be seen and cared for, and I wanted only the best for him. I saw he was traumatized and broken, just as I am. I'd hold him while he cried or when he couldn't keep it together anymore. I'd tell him I've got him, I loved him, it would be all right. I gave him the love that I never got and always wanted in return. He still cheated, and I kept forgiving him. He truly was my best friend. We did everything together. I could tell him anything. We had been through so many ups and downs together, and after he proposed, I was ready to imagine a full future with him, despite everything he did to me. I wanted to see the good in him no matter what because I loved him so much, and I wanted to give him the love and grace I never got growing up. He deserved the world, and I feel like I fell short somewhere no matter what I did or sacrificed. He got a new job in January, and I thought because it's a factory steel mill that he'd be limited to women he'd find more appealing than me. I was wrong. They'd been talking since January. He lied to me about seeing people at work. He talked to AP behind my back for 3 months and told me he was respecting the relationship by abandoning me before he slept with her. He told me that what he feels for her is more real. I feel like that's never going to leave my mind. And why the girl he's talking to decided it was okay to try to take away someone who was already engaged because she knew we were together. I'm broken. I don't understand what I did wrong. I tried and tried and tried to give him anything and everything he could possibly need. I was patient, gentle, caring, understanding, loyal. I did everything I could. Why wasn't it enough? How was someone he's barely known for 3 months more important than the person who loved them and did anything to keep them safe and happy? Am I not enough? Am I not worthy of the same love I give? Is someone he's barely known really better than me? To make matters worse, he chose to do this at the worst time possible. I've been more ill than usual since December, and I'm scheduled to have surgery soon to rule out possible cancer, and April 1st is the anniversary of my father's death. The days were getting harder, and I was crying more about my father lately, and how scared I am that I may potentially be dying, and he chose now to abandon me. After he left my house that night, I deleted my Facebook permanently, deleted my Discord, blocked his number, and yesterday decided to burn every card, picture, movie ticket stub, love letter, everything he gave to me. I don't know where to go from here. I keep thinking about how he's probably sleeping with her right now and how disgusting I feel about not wanting to be with anyone that way ever again because he was my first and I needed him to be my only. I haven't eaten in days. I throw up anything I consume. At this point, I'm only eating to maintain my blood sugar that I can barely keep above 60, 70. I can't sleep and have been staying awake until I can't keep my eyes open. I feel like I should seek out inpatient care, but I'd be cut off from my dear mother, and she's all I have right now. I truly don't see a way out of this, and I'm scared that I won't make it. How do you like these stories? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.